Anti-Corruption Commission, the program manager of the LACC, Mr. James K. Kingsley. He's also a man of God. Rabbi, how you doing?
I'm okay with Sorbor. And it's a pleasure to be in the school's studio.
I know.
I remember coming to the studio in 1989 when I was just a student in the 10th grade. I mean, downstairs, the studio used to be downstairs. And I'm just so excited that this building has been renovated and it's operational once again.
Okay, thank you for the compliment. What will be happening at the LACC this week?
Oh, a lot of things are happening. In fact, the entire week is about the LACC in the Republic of Liberia. The biggest news is coming from the LACC this week.
So, what's the biggest news this week?
The biggest news.
You mean grabbing more people and handcuffing for them or handcuffing them?
The biggest news is that we are elevating the fight against corruption.
Okay.
And we usually do this as an annual event. December now, as you may be aware, is International Anti-Corruption Day, and Liberia joins 187 countries that are state parties, in addition to Liberia, making it 188 state parties for the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which is UNCAC. And this day was set aside by the General Assembly of the United Nations in 2003 to be celebrated with various activities, specifically to just raise massive awareness against corruption and its effect on the social, political, and economic lives of nations and people.
I know you'll be able to tell us basically the status of the LACC now and what's happening there, but let's talk about the event that's coming up. How are you going to commemorate the day? What are some of the activities that you plan?
Oh, okay, thank you. That's a very interesting question. As a matter of fact, the LACC has earmarked four key activities. The first is the anti-corruption street blast, which begins today and it runs up to tomorrow. The anti-corruption street blast in Go.
Street blast? What is that?
We are in the street and giving out flyers, anti-corruption messages, and all of that. If you were driving towards town now, you will see that we set up a PA system and we are just playing music
around
our office and giving out flyers to people, encouraging them to join us in the fight against corruption. That goes on for today and tomorrow. We will be around there in the morning hour. When the traffic goes down, then we have two teams. One will go towards Central Monrovia and the other team will come towards Painsville, Yerovia Junction, the Red Light and the Omega area. So that's how we are doing it today. And then tomorrow, the two teams will collapse, and then we take the Japan Freeway. So that is for the anti-corruption street blast.
You take the Japan Freeway?
Yeah.
To do what there again?
To continue the awareness. So we have 2 days of street blast, anti-corruption street blast.
Giving flyers out to people.
Giving flyers out to people and just encouraging them, asking for their support and buy-in in the fight against corruption. And then after that, the next event is going to be a debate, inter-university debate between the AME Zion University and the University of Liberia. And the topic for the debate is, can the prosecutorial power of the LACC be effective without a specialized anti-corruption court? Okay. So we want to have our students who are in academia to be able to discuss. Basically, that topics bring into focus two things. The prosecutorial power of the commission, which we already have and enjoy now, and then we want to look at the relevance of the special court, the specialized anti-corruption court to the fight against corruption.
Okay.
And then following that, on the 8th of December, we are going to be having a mini sports Olympic in both kickball and football at the famous Voca Mission Field.
Okay.
And so we are going to be there. We have invited 4 schools. And that is that for that. And then on Friday, which is the main event, we are going to be having a parade beginning at the SKD Boulevard to the SKD Sports Complex at the gymnasium, at the basketball gymnasium, where we're climaxing with an indoor program.
Okay. So those are the activities marking this year international?
International Anti-Corruption Day.
Okay.
And then the international team is uniting the world against corruption, and the national team is promoting integrity and accountability for increased citizens' participation in the fight against corruption.
Okay, so let's see. We just been joined by Mr. Edwin Clark. Mr. Clark is the PRO, understand, at the LACC. Mr. Clark, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the program, Mr. Clark.
Thank you.
So, where do you fit in the whole celebration?
My responsibility is to help with the awareness for this program. Like Mr. Kingsley said, we have started a mass awareness program. And we hope that it will be a blast. We call it street blast. We will do it today and tomorrow. We have invited the media to be a part of the program, mainly on Friday, which is the main program. So the media will be invited, and there will be speeches given. The executive chairperson of the LACC, Councillor Edwin Clark Martin, will deliver a special message. And the keynote speaker for the day happens to be the country manager in Liberia from the World Bank, and he is Kwamini Nitara. So he will be delivering the keynote message on that day.
Now, you'll be. Let's talk about the street blast first. You said you'll be giving out flyers to the citizens. Basically, what are the inscriptions that you have on the flyers?
Basically, the message is we need to unite ourselves as citizens of Liberia in the fight against corruption. LACC cannot fight corruption alone, and so we need every hand on deck in the fight against corruption until we get angry with the current state of inaccountability in Liberia and begin to hold people accountable and demand accountability in public service. We will continue to have this situation. So we want to raise the consciousness of Liberians to the extent that they begin to resist, corruption in public service.
Okay. Now, but Mr. Clark, you made reference to the speech that will be. Do we know exactly what is it? Your chairperson will be talking about or speaking basically about during the day.
No, I don't have the privy to have access to the speech, but I can only assume that he will also talk about the awareness about fighting the fight against corruption. We have started this awareness not only in Montserrat County. We have been to 4 counties.
4 of the counties.
Yeah, we have to 4 of the counties. We've been to Mangibi, we've been to Bomb, we've been to Nimba. We just came from Grand Bassa. So it's a nationwide thing. We are hoping that maybe next year we will celebrate this ISCD, the International Anti-Corruption Day, outside of Monrovia. We've been celebrating it outside of Monrovia because of funding. We can't do it outside of Monrovia. Okay. But we do hope next year, this time we'll be somewhere up country celebrating this. But to answer your question directly, no, I can't say what the chairperson will say.
Okay. Reverend Kingsley, I like to call you Reverend Kingsley. I've been knowing you as a Reverend before you joined the LACC. Now, what is the rationale bringing on board students to discuss or to debate the issue of your prosecutorial powers, or whether there's a need to have a fast-track court for corruption?
What an interesting question, Sorbor. We can never underestimate the role of academia in policy making, in public policy decisions. You have students in the various schools who are studying public administration, who are studying politics, sociology, and all of that. They are in the position to be able to make policy prescriptions that will help in advancing the overall good of the country. Okay. And so we want them to be able to bring that argument to the table. As part of the advocacy, actually, for the specialized anti-corruption code, this advocacy has been ongoing. We've succeeded in getting the direct prosecutorial power. I joined the LACC in 2010, and see the commission was established in 2008. Since that time, we began this advocacy, and we are only getting the prosecutorial power in 2022 for 2008. And so we are hoping that bringing different stakeholders to join us in this advocacy will help us to see the establishment, the passage of the anti-corruption code into law, which will help to elevate or advance the fight against corruption and take it to another level.
So you are saying that there's an act currently at the legislature, or you haven't started?
We have proposed bills. We have proposed bills at the legislature, and one of the things we are praying the legislature to pass is specialized anti-corruption court.
Now, how is that? Maybe let's hear from Mr. Edwin Clark. How is that affecting the fight against corruption? The fact that you don't have a specialized court for that.
Well, all the other courts, either criminal courts or civil courts, we fought for a rape court.
Yes.
Now we have a rape court, right? Only for rape cases. If we have a specialized court for corruption, it means that all cases involving corrupt officials or corrupt people will go directly to that court. We don't have to wait for our case to be called on the docket. You go to criminal court, your case might not be heard in a particular term, but once we get this specialized court, we can assure the public that all your cases regarding corruption will be heard.
Now, let's talk about the status at the LACC, Reverend Kingsley.
I just wanted to weigh in a little on the issue of the specialized
Okay,
court.
quickly.
It brings into focus specificity,
Okay.
that the court is specifically set up to deal exclusively with anti-corruption issues.
Okay.
So there's no competition about dealing with issue of rape, dealing with issues of murder. That court is exclusively dedicated to anti-corruption cases. And in that way, it helps to fast track
Okay.
the prosecution of corruption cases, because it's solely dedicated to prosecuting corruption cases.
Now, but calling for a specific court, it means that you should have the personnel for that. If you were to just give us an idea as to your prosecutors, how many are they now?
Well, currently we have about 3 persons on staff at the LSCC in the legal division.
3 persons?
3 persons.
And then you're looking for courts?
Yeah, we are looking for court.
You're calling for court when you
Yes.
have the personnel?
This has to be demand driven. The creation of the court will increase the demand for additional personnel. So as it is, currently the current jurisdiction we have does not demand much of the staff in a sense, because if we have to go through one case for maybe an entire year or all of that, this may cause a lot of delay. But imagine we need 2 things, one of which we've gotten, which is the direct prosecutorial power. The next thing is the court. If you give us direct prosecutorial power and give us a specialized court, then we don't need any other thing to wait for. We investigate our cases. We don't have to go through the Ministry of Justice. We proceed to court directly, and we don't have to wait for somebody to be telling us that the docket is overcrowded. Once it's a corruption case, it's a corruption case, and it goes to a corruption court. So this is going to fulfill the doctrine of speedy trial.
Okay. Now, how is this day being celebrated across the world? Are you following up, Mr. Edwin Clark?
Yes, we are definitely following up, especially in the region. We know that Sierra Leone is having the appropriate programs on Friday also.
The same programs?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are, the same awareness. Everybody is creating awareness for this International Anti-Corruption Day. But what we really want to specify here is that in this awareness that we'll be raising, we will encourage the people. There are 2 acts that I think that before the legislature, the Witness Protection Act and the Whistleblower Act, that we will encourage people to start reporting cases to the LSCC, and you will be protected by these 2 acts.
Okay.
So that these are all will be part of the awareness program.
What sort of protection are you going to give people? Who go maybe walk to the LACC and say, look, I got this information on X, Mr. X. What sort of protection going to give them?
Well,
strict police protection or what?
Strict confidentiality. In the first place, we offer strict confidentiality. We are under oath to conceal, to keep private your information, your identity, as well as the information your identity. You've given us the information, we can work with it, where identity cannot be disclosed.
Okay. Now, let's hear from, because I want to talk about the capacity of the LACC a bit. Mr. Reverend Kingsley and Mr. Clark, you just told us about 3 prosecutors that you have.
Yeah.
The entire LACC. What is impeding your effort to recruit more prosecutors? What's impeding your effort?
Well, you are not new to government, and the new language is the fiscal space is tight. we are all aware that oftentimes government budget is not always enough. But with the right programs in place and with the independence of the commission, as well as enabling legislation like the direct prosecutorial power, as well as the specialized anti-corruption code that we are advocating for. When those things are in place, I mean, the demand will be created to have more lawyers, and sometimes in some cases the international partners, given that you have the right infrastructure in place, they might even be willing with you, to work with you to even bring on board additional lawyers.
But you have the prosecutorial powers now, right?
Yes, then we have the prosecutorial powers now.
No, I'm still asking. You've
But
been
then-
seeking for that
but
power
then
for a very long while.
I would like to say the prosecutorial power came on the heels of the current crisis which has befallen the LSCC, as you are where we are in court right now.
Okay.
So the effectiveness of that prosecutorial power is punctuated by the current circumstances. We are hoping that we can juggle through this time of crisis, and when we come through it, we can be able to go full-fledged in the utilization of our direct prosecutorial.
But you like you just indicated, you are in the crisis, yet you're still trying to celebrate. What's the direction of it?
Of course, life has to go on. Challenges and dreams are two sides of the same coin. You know, you can be dreaming while you still have challenges, but that doesn't stop you from moving on.
Okay.
You know.
So do we know as to when you're going to emerge from the courts now and get everything on course?
I don't. You know, it's a legal process. I don't want to preempt the court. So let's watch and see how it turns out.
Is that in any way affecting the operation, the smooth running of the LSCC as we speak?
Not at all.
Not at all directly, but indirectly in terms of public perception.
Okay.
You know, and how people view whether the LSCC is working. And some, as you were just asking, people are even surprised while we are talking about street blast, while we are talking about municipal Olympic, while we are talking about anti-corruption debate when we have a crisis on hand. But as I told you, life has to go on, and that's what we are doing. We have a mandate, and we have to keep fulfilling that mandate even in the midst of crisis.
How big is this crisis, you think?
I don't want to go into the magnitude.
No, I know you're not going to go into the magnitude, but I'm just trying to find out as to how major it is and affecting operations as well.
Not a very major in a sense, but I'm just talking about in terms of the public perception. You know, the moment that matter ensued, people began to dismiss the LSCC already. I mean, some people in the eyes of the public, the LSCC have been strangulated, it would not be working. But contrary to that view, if you go to the LSCC, our staffs are there. I mean, from morning, from 9 to 5 o'clock. The LSCC is busy and active, and we keep doing fulfilling.
So as you speak currently, you got your staff already at the offices, you know,
Oh,
playing
yeah.
music and distributing
They are
flyers.
there. They are there. This team is very tenacious. This team is forceful. This thing is very determined, and we're not going to give up. You know. The true test of a man is where he stands in times of crisis, and this is what we are doing at the LSCC.
Mr. Clark, you said your chair will be delivering or will be delivering a speech on it's on a Friday.
Yes, it's on Friday.
But I mean, with the crisis on hand, you think the momentum is still there to deliver
The
the very
momentum
results?
is there. We are swinging. He comes to work. Right now, as Reverend Kingston just said, we are in high gear. I just passed by the office, come my way here. The music is playing. We are all set to start the street blast this morning. So everything is well on course.
So are you going to be attired while you're doing the street blast?
Oh yes, we are going to be wearing T-shirts with the necessary inscriptions,
Okay.
and just creating the awareness. Yes.
You're listening to the SMS rated on the OBC 99.9, also frequencies across Liberia. Mr. Clark, you are the PRO at the LSCC, and the LSCC is celebrating this International Corruption Day?
International Anti-Corruption.
Anti-Corruption Day, okay. How extensive are you taking the message to the people?
Well, earlier we talked about awareness in the different counties. We've already started. We had the launch of the nationwide anti-corruption awareness program. We had it in Bond County, and it was massive. What we actually do when we go out country, we the program manager and maybe the commissioner for oversight responsibility of education and prevention, they gave a background to what the LACC is and what how we're fighting corruption. Then we engage with the participants, the students, the marketeers, the keke riders, the motorbike riders. And interestingly enough, some of the responses we get from these people are very good. One of them, for example, will say, "You need to carry this outreach program to all of the counties."
Okay.
Yeah, we say, "Okay, we'll take that notation down." And some of the students will say, "So how can we help in the fight against corruption as students?" And we discuss with them the intellectual Atayi centers. We've been getting very good responses from them. In fact, after our awareness with the general public, we go directly to the Atayi centers and we sit down with them and we engage them. And they also help to give ideas as to what their own perception is to fight corruption. I wouldn't want to call places and names, but they even help us. They say, "Look, the person that we got here doing X, Y, Z, you need to investigate this person because they person receive money from government and we don't see anything happening." So these are some of the things that we are engaged in now. We hope next year we will be able to tackle the southeastern counties. We already have done 4. The other 2 nearby counties, Cape Mount and Bombing, we hope we can do that soon enough. Including Bapolo, and then we hit the southeast.
What are you doing there specifically? Going from doors to doors or what?
No, normally when we get to the county, we bring together representative of stakeholder groups.
Okay.
We converge at the administration building of the county, and then we take them through our rigors of how we fight corruption. And they listen to us, ask questions, and then we encourage them to get on board. After this engagement, we go back and we are establishing what you call county anti-corruption coalitions.
Okay.
We've been able to establish one in Nimba, one in Bone, and one in Margibi. It's left to be operationalized to go and formally launch it, inaugurate the leadership, and then commit some funding to the fight against corruption through those groups.
Okay. Now the day is the International Anti-Corruption Day, and you are increasing the level of awareness amongst the citizens. Is it just a one shot, or are you going to continue with this?
We have an entire division at the LACC that is committed to sustaining the awareness against corruption, which is the Education and Prevention Division. As the name depicts, we are responsible to educate and to prevent corruption. And to be able to do that, one of the instruments we have to use is communication, education, and information.
Okay, so the debate you made reference to, how many schools are participating?
The debate, we have 2 schools,
Okay, 2
AME Zion University and the University of Liberia, and it's going to be taking place at the University of Liberia main campus auditorium on Canada Hill.
So the students are settled.
And it will be moderated by 3 of our young intellectuals, Councilor Phil Dixon, Anthony Winder, Doko Tappen, and Anthony Mariah Yakula.
Okay.
Yes.
They're going to moderate.
They are going to moderate.
So the students are already set already for the debate?
Oh yes, they are set. They are in our gear for the debate. And I want to throw this invitation, this invite out to the media to be able to follow that debate and be able to get it to the wider audience.
There's no celebration, Mr. Clark, that is vote of spending money or making some resources available. How much is being pumped into the whole celebration?
I will defer to the.
But why are you deferring?
Because his committee exclusively work on the budget. I have
Well,
my
you're a PRO.
I have the media budget.
But you know the entire budget, so that when people ask you how much the LSC being is using to pump into this thing.
I will still defer to the program manager.
Okay, that money business. So you don't want to say
The budget for the celebration is a little under $13,000.
$13,000.
Yeah, but I think it's even
Just
going
for a
to be-
day celebration.
Yeah, not for a day. We are
5 days.
we starting today, and it goes on. I think the budget has even soared to about $15,000 or more, because the initial budget we came up with was around almost around $13,000. But yesterday also, Saturday and Sunday, we just realized that we needed like the canopy.
Okay.
We rented a canopy. We brought in a musician and all of that. So it will be around $15,000.
And who's funding that budget?
Yeah,
Who's funding the budget?
the UNDP has been supportive. The Center for Transparency and Accountability has also come in, and then we also have the Swedish Embassy in Liberia.
Okay.
The Swedish government has also
They are highly
contributed
support.
to that budget.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the entire celebration starts when?
Today.
Today.
Today
Okay.
with the street blast.
Okay, but I didn't see you guys wearing your t-shirts.
When we get to the office, we'll pick the t-shirt and join the group.
Okay. Okay. Am I going to get t-shirt as well?
So that should not be a problem.
Oh, okay.
I hope when I get to the office, I can be able to lay one aside for you. Yeah.
Okay, so listeners, you can put your calls now. We have two folks from the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, Mr. Edwin Clark. Mr. Clark and I we work together at the Star Radio. He's my brother. He's the PRO at the LACC, and also we have Mr. James K. Kingsley. Mr. Kingsley is the program manager at the LACC. They both are our guests on the SMS, on the first lap of the SMS this morning, and of course they've come to enlighten us about the program that is coming up. That in fact has started today in commemoration of the International Anti-Corruption Day. So you can put the calls on 0776 540 987. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sorbor.
Yes, sir.
And good morning to your studio guest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Dominic, and I'm calling from Sorbor County, where I don't see the issue of corruption, to fight corruption is very valid. And whenever we hear about corruption fight, we are all in support. And I want to thank the studio guest for that something that you did. But we see is that during Madam President's time, the fight against corruption was placed on the table, but the protection of the whistleblower was not actually put in place. Like the case of alcoholism, understand that this guy went to work and this company, and exposed certain things in government, but this guy was killed in cold blood, and that case was put under the carpet. So this time around, I don't know what protection they will give the whistleblowers, because there are so many news that will come up with. But the issue of protection is what people are looking at. So I know and I hope that the people get will put.
Okay. Many thanks. Many thanks is off the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Sobo. How are you?
I'm okay, sir.
Yeah, this is the Eastman ID Chemist, Frank Comey, Mayor of the President, and I'm calling from Koya, Sorbor County, Liberia.
Let's hear from you, Ishmael.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you this morning for the level of job that they are doing. Keep on the good job. It's not easy to fight corruption in Africa, particularly Liberia. But you know what you're supposed to do? You need to fight so that you can bring a good name to your office. Because the LEC issue we are getting about corruption, we are in jail down here. One day, because the way they are doing our own down here, from now to 2-3 months, we will have our road here that will be coming here. We want that same law to be imposed here so that we can enjoy the current. Because those who are seeing the current will make other people not benefit from the facility. Thank you so much.
Many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one week about former workmate on Canada Babas. Let me speak to the honorable office there. Please, I beg you, please. I want the people will honor this because I have seen so many corrupt ways in this country and I want to fight against them. Please be careful and then be tough on your decision that you're making. Because to be frank, to fight corruption like that is not a small thing. It's not a small thing that involved, staff involved. Also, you made mention of the Whistleblower Act. I think in that political area, you have to keep the information or the information, secret. Not the information out here in the news or any other thing. Please, because
Okay.
that's very important. Because the problem will tell you, what John Brown have done. And I did that person in the out. The other person died.
Okay. Many thanks.
So,
Yes.
I beg you, please, that man will take it that coming
0776-540-987, or better still 0880-514-096. That's the number to call, and you are live on the SMS this morning. Our guests are from the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, and of course they've come to enlighten us on activities marking the International Anti-Corruption Day. 0776-540-987, or better still 0880-514-096. At 9 o'clock, we'll have the guests here, Ambassador Judy Andy and Assistant Minister Dave Collier on Census Hour. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, this is Anthony Nathan. I'm going from Sorbor Community District in Sorbor County.
Mhm.
Let me say good morning to you, Sorbor George, and good morning to your studio guests. I didn't do that very well. I think they are articulated very well. And Mr. Sorbor George, if you are aware that corruption is an antivirus that kills the aspiration and dream and eats the progress development of the state. So corruption is something that should be unaccepted in our country. And I'm so happy that that body is given exclusive powers to judge cases in terms of corruption. So I believe that all my things will not be accepted in that court. So I pray that their leadership will be cemented to fighting corruption so that the money that is sent to provide development and meet the aspiration of the citizen will be duly accepted.
Okay. Many thanks. This other caller is on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, how you doing, Sorbor?
I'm okay.
I'm calling Jacob and I'm calling from Panama, County.
Okay.
Thank you for the show. To fight corruption in Liberia is not a small thing. And as the speaker guys were saying that there will be water grower and it will be a good thing because there are a lot of places that you will see government officials working and this thing go on. But those people got to be protected and they are whenever they get information, information should be kept secret and it will be a good thing. And it's not an easy thing. There's something to start. It's not an easy thing, but as time go on, I think it will work. It will not be duality, but I think it can be minimized in Liberia. Thank you for this show.
Many thanks also. 0776-540-987, or better still 0880-514-096. That's the number to call, and you are live on the SMS. Good morning. Yes, good morning, sir. Okay. Okay, many thanks. Let's take two more and then wrap it up. One more quickly. We'll wrap it up quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let me take this caller. Good morning. Yes, good morning, sir. Okay. Many thanks, many thanks, many thanks. Let's go back to our studio guests to respond to those concerns and then we'll wrap it up quickly. Robin Kingsley, Mr. Clark.
Okay, let me tackle the first few, then I'll leave Brother Kingsley to tackle the rest of it. the caller who talked about being anonymous on the for the whistleblower, I can assure you that you can come to the office at any time. You can ask for me. You can ask for Reverend Kingsley, and just tell us that you have a corruption matter you want to be addressed, and we'll take you to the appropriate office, and they will address your concerns. You just come to me. You don't even have to call your name. Just come to me and tell me, say, I have a case to report, and I will take you to the appropriate office. The caller from Magibie County who talked about students' participation, I like your question. Yes, it is important for students nationwide to take part in this kind of a program. We are hoping maybe in the future when we divide the countries into regions and we have regional offices of the LACC, that will be very, very possible. And you already gave me an idea what we'll discuss with Reverend Kingsley on this nationwide tour that we will be going on. Maybe we can tell the schools that we are coming there and we'll send the topic to maybe the schools up there. Then maybe we can have a debate with the students while we are there doing the awareness program. As for the street blast, yes, it's only from Monrovia now, but we can assure you that the next time we are coming up country, we will make sure that we bring some flyers and some stickers for you also to be part of the program. I will leave Reverend Kingsley now to answer the other questions.
One of the caller asked a question, what is the biggest achievement of the LACC? The biggest achievement of the LACC, in my opinion, is that we've been able to mobilize public interest in the fight against corruption. That everybody is talking about corruption and how it's destroying the very fabric of our nation and undermining economic development. The fact that we can begin to talk about it, it is my hope that subsequently we can be able to, we can get involved and participate more as individual citizens, and, in making sure that we minimize corruption in Liberia. That is the greatest achievement that we can boast of as a commission. Beyond that also, we have success story in prosecuting very top level public officials. You remember we prosecuted Beatrice Monacier, former Inspector General of Police. We prosecuted the former chairman of the LTA. And we've prosecuted a number of, top public officials. We had a cyber mining case involving Councilor Vanny Sherman and other people. And this tells us that we have no sacred cows in the fight against corruption. Nobody is indispensable in this fight. And so we go where the crime, where there is a case, and we make sure that we bring people to book. That is the biggest thing. Before, government was the people's thing. But today, even though we still fighting to make sure that we institutionalize this, but we are beginning to see a semblance of accountability across government. There is a consciousness that whatever money you preside over is not your individual money, it's public money. And if you misappropriate it or misuse it, someday you will be held to account for it. That is the greatest achievement we can boast of.
Okay. Are you sure with all the questions?
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
I think Clark addressed almost everything, the issue of Marco Allison in terms of the whistleblower and witness protection. We would like to inform the public, in fact, that the whistleblower and the witness protection have been passed into law. The Whistleblower and the Witness Protection Act. We've also had some successes around our whistleblower. Our main witness in the Matilda Parker case, we're able to keep him and carry him from one place to another, and we protected him. We even reached the point of taking him out of the country, and we did everything we could to protect him. Unfortunately, Michael Allison did not have that kind of opportunity, that kind of protection. It happened so fast before it came to people's knowledge that Michael Allison had become a victim.
Okay. So what about the comments now, gentlemen, as you celebrate your International Anti-Corruption Day?
Okay, for me, I would like to extend an invitation to all the persons that we invited to our program, and let's hope that it will be a success. And don't forget that corruption is not only taking money from government coffers or taking money from your club coffers. Corruption mainly is dishonesty. If you spy in school, it's corruption. So keep that in mind.
from our end, I'd just like to say that we have no excuse to fight corruption in Liberia. And corruption is reaching epidemic proportion in Liberia. We either fight corruption or corruption destroys us. The choice is ours. Whether we allow corruption to destroy us or we fight collectively as Liberians and minimize corruption so that we can grow as a nation.
Okay, it's Reverend James K. Kinsley. He's the program manager at the LACC. And of course, you also heard Edwin Clark, Mr. Edwin Clark. Mr. Clark is the PRO at the LACC. Both of them been my guests.